Now, many people who began driving, say in 1995, knows how to start a car, and most of those vehicles were internal combustion engines, abbreviated or short ICE. Now, sometimes a car will idle rough, called rough idle. Sometimes it will idle high, and things like that. So why? Why does it have rough idle and high idle? That's a rhetorical question. Whatever the idle is, the alternator is still firing the spark plugs. Because once a car starts, you can disconnect the battery and the car will still run. Old cars did not have batteries. You crank started them. Very, very old cars. You don't want to do that, but theoretically you can. These are the internal combustion engine cars, not the electric car. The electric cars run on the batteries. The batteries produce all the power the electric cars need somehow. Or you cannot disconnect the battery in an electric car and still have it run. On an old internal combustion engine car, once it starts, you can disconnect the battery and it will still run. You can remove the ground. It may be dangerous, but theoretically you can do that. People switch very high voltages, 5 kilovolts, on and off, on circuit breakers. They're dangerous, but they can be done, and there are safety protocols for that. So now coming back to the car alternator charges the battery so that when the car sits and you want to start it, the battery has enough power to start the car. Once the car starts, the alternator takes over the electric, and only in case the alternator is malfunctioning will the battery kick in, generally speaking. So now the RPM on that car, idle or off idle, is what it is, but the car still runs. How many RPMs do you need? You need like 800 to 1200 for the alternator to work properly. Maybe it works even lower RPM. So now, how do you get your bicycle to give 1500 revolution per minute to run the alternator, to charge the battery, to give you power when you do it yourself? You use a system of cranks and pulleys and multiply it, right? Because you cannot turn that alternator fast enough to produce electricity that you can use, but you can turn the pedal, and when you turn the pedal one time, that alternator can spin 1,000 times or 2,000 times, and you'll have electricity.